I played Minecraft with many different clients over the past week so that we can compare and find the best Minecraft client for you. Also, we're coming up to 10,000 subscribers, which is insane. So please do consider subscribing and clicking the bell, as it's completely free and you can always change your mind later. And stick around as we'll be doing an FPS comparison of each client at the end. So, what is a client? A Minecraft client is an application that allows you to launch Minecraft with a fresh user interface, a couple status modifications, such as your clicks per second and frames per second, and in most cases will boost your FPS dramatically. Clients allow for quicker navigation of statistics mid-game and can allow you to personalize the user interface. The clients will optimize the game specifically for your computer to provide the smoothest experience for you by altering certain rendering algorithms and rendering functions that utilize your computer, as Minecraft itself is not a well-optimized game, which is mainly single-threaded, so it can only be using one logical core and barely utilizes the GPU. With settings such as use VBOs, this can dramatically increase the FPS you would otherwise see in game. Why use a client? Despite the obvious FPS boost you would receive from using a client, you'll find that there are other benefits. When playing on a server, some clients allow you to view whether your opponents and teammates are using the same client as you. Also, on some clients there are friend systems that allow you to chat directly in the client via text. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you might want to try the proximity chat, which allows you to communicate with your voice in game and alters the volume as you change distance from the opponent, allowing for some really hilarious moments.
Gentlemen, welcome to the new world. Hey Wilbur, give us a good scream.
Also, using a client can make you feel a part of a community you wouldn't otherwise, and there are some pretty funny discussions about which client is best, which leads me to how to pick the right client. Picking the right client may be difficult, as there are quite a lot of biased opinions out there on each one, like the whole Badlion developer situation, or Lunar being called for providing an unfair advantage, and needing to remove features such as free look and the option to switch versions you play on. However, leaving those aside, let's go over a few of the most well-known clients to find their pros and cons and evaluate which is right for you at the end. Badlion Client. Badlion is quite a great experience for those who play single player often and on multiplayer servers. You'll find a large variety of mods that would otherwise not be found on other clients and can easily be recommended if you're looking for a client packed to the brim with features. Badlion 3.0 also offers mod folders which allow you to easily switch between layouts depending on the situation, or even hand out for others to try. Lunar Client. Lunar Client is quite similar to Badlion Client in terms of FPS, or frames per second. I can easily push 1500 frames with an RTX 2060 and Ryzen 5 3600, and may run smoother on other systems. Lunar Client also offers a clean and minimalistic user interface that is clutter-free and easy to set up. However, it does not have nearly the amount of mods that Badlion comes with, but if you're looking for a great PvP client and an overall stress-free experience, Lunar Client is definitely a top contender here. Forge. Now, Forge is a bit of a different one in terms of mods and aesthetics. Standalone, it is pretty bare bones, barely changing anything at all, but that is its strength. Despite not coming with mods, this client, the term used very loosely here, allows you to install mods you want without having any of the ones you don't. Forge is great for loading mods that allow you to change the game entirely, from crazy physics to insane weapons and even raising the difficulty on single player. However, keep in mind, some mods that alter the mechanics of Minecraft should be disabled if you're to go on any servers, as this may result in an immediate ban. Mods such as motion blur, keystrokes, and Orange's simple mod are fine to use on servers, as they do not alter the physics of the game but rather provide statistics. And if you are to use Forge, you should definitely install Optifine, as it is the FPS boost that most clients have and will make your game run quite a bit better on your system. I must note that the user interface to set up these mods is also quite bare bones and isn't as user-friendly, as the setup of some mods require specific commands to be typed in the chat. PvP Lounge. Now, the PvP Lounge client is a bit of a sus one. The client definitely has the mods that any PvPer would need, such as CPS counter. However, it is a bit flawed. Firstly, the aesthetics of the client do not stay consistent throughout, which mildly bugs me. The client has very few updates, and usually minor ones. The mod colors are different. I actually couldn't log into my account for some time. For some reason, none of the texture packs would load, and I'll be blunt here, the motion blur is pretty terrible. However, the client does have some potential, but it just hasn't reached it yet, so unfortunately I cannot recommend this client too much over others. Laby Mod. Now, Laby Mod is very similar to the way you install and run Forge, and it's possible to do a Laby Mod with Forge when you open up the install wizard. Laby Mod is pretty much a refined version of the Minecraft launcher with some mods that you can request when downloading. You also have the option to install new mods if you wish, which is definitely an upside. And one of my favorite aspects of this client, it toggles off mods that you shouldn't use on particular servers when you join them to prevent an immediate ban. Now, I haven't tested the reliability of this feature, but I can only assume, as some mods were turned off in Hypixel, that it would work well. The only downside to Laby Mod is its user experience. The Laby Mod settings are right up in the top, and at first I couldn't find it as it wasn't in the conventional places, but after opening the client settings I was surprised with the quality and how robust the user interface actually is. Now I'll be doing a comparison of each client's FPS in different scenarios. So then I opened all the clients and individually recorded the FPS values across 3 different maps and entered all the data into a spreadsheet, and the results may be surprising. After entering all the data, I took the mean and the interquartile range to observe the consistency that is unaffected by the outliers and the FPS boost each client has. And the reason for looking at the consistency is so that for those who recorded with high FPS such as 360 or 480, that you hopefully won't experience drops in FPS which may hinder the recording. I also took the average of the mean of all the maps per client to get a more comprehensible chart. As can be observed, Badlion Client 3.0 did have the highest FPS scores across all 3 maps, with surprisingly PvP Lounge coming in second and Lunar coming in close third. I also wouldn't have expected Laby Mod to have such low FPS in comparison to the other clients. Also, Laby Mod is probably the best when it comes to consistency within FPS, which is closely followed by the stock launcher and then PvP Lounge. So if you're looking for a good all-round client, whether you play single player or multiplayer servers with the best FPS possible and a great selection of mods, Badlion is probably your best bet. If all you're doing is speedrunning, then the stock launcher is best, as Optifine is not allowed if you are to submit a run. If you're looking for a good all-around PvP client, Lunar is definitely the best option here. And if you're looking at installing mods into your game, then Forge is definitely the best way to go. Also, a lot of people seem to enjoy my client videos, so if you're interested as well, why not give them a watch, am I right?